you about what you've been preparing and planning. I'd like to remind the task force that all of this work and the planning and hopeful subsequent implementation of what we're doing, it'll all be for naught if it's not 100% clear who it's for. Dr. Newby Alexander, you said earlier, and I know that it's just a part of how we speak now, but she said people of African descent, and that could be people who just got here yesterday who's from Africa versus people who might have been here prior to 1526, and that's the people that I'm here speaking about. Africa America is like this mystical, magical place, right, where everybody can kind of claim it if you live in America because our origins start in Africa. So I think it's very important for us to delineate, or at least be very specific about who this task force is speaking for, and that would be foundational Black America or Black America, but then you'd have to delineate again, are Jamaicans Black Americans? No, they're Jamaican Americans. And then you have to make sure that you're very specific about who we're talking about, because again, all of these other groups of Black people, or at least melanated people here, can go through what my ancestors went through. Yes, they've had a bad deal, they've had a bad rap, but at some point, if you choose to come to a place where people there are being subjugated, that is not our fault per se. I mean, it is our global, or I guess our country's fault. We haven't really come to terms. That's what we're trying to do now, but we have to be very specific, and I think that at least every time I come up here and speak, I'm going to make sure that I say that, because I don't want it to be convoluted. I don't want it to be where all of these different people are getting something because something's bad happens to them, and then you call it reparations, because it's not reparations. Reparations is making sure that it never happens again. But you know, as we've got the school to prison pipeline and all of these other different avenues that are designed to railroad my community, there's got to be a way to ensure that the laws that are already on the books are applied for us, and that we get those protections. And maybe that's not reparations, but I do think it should be part of the conversation. Restitution and repatriation, compensation, I talk about that every time. I don't mean to be crass, but a check needs to be cut, like a direct cash payment to my community. Why? Because all of the problems, 100% of the problems could be solved if we had the funds to do it. And we don't have the funds to do it. And we keep getting told that you don't know what you're going to do with it, or you don't know how to do it. And all of these other groups that get payments, they don't have to deal with the same types of questions, or at least they get the payments, and then they also get the programs. And I've never said that the programs are bad. I just think that we need to get started, and a lot of the programs are going to take time to get started, when we could get started right now doing what we think is best for our families. Thank you again for letting me speak.